Are you ready to unlock growth, build resilience, and confidently take the next step in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin Kimbrough, a CEO, author, and leader with a passion for helping people and organizations thrive. My journey from foster care to CEO has fueled my mission to help professionals scale their confidence, leadership, and influence through mindset shifts, expanded networks, and bold action. Each week, I'll share reflections ripped straight from my blog to inspire and empower you with actionable insights. Let's get started and make your next move your best move. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. Let me start with a question. What if I told you our healthcare system is eating away at our future, not just our health, but our wallets, our peace of mind, and our trust? I'm sure you want to know more. Well, stay with me because today I want to talk about something that touches every single one of us, yet so many of us feel what we feel locked out of understanding, and that's healthcare. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about complexity and how it clouds our ability to act, how it clouds our ability to trust, and how it clouds our ability to care. That's especially true in healthcare. The system is so big, it is sprawling. The system is technical. The system is emotionally charged, and most people, the very people it's meant to serve, well, don't feel like they understand it. They certainly don't trust it, but God is not a God of confusion. Folks, I had to go deep in scripture on this because, this is such a hot topic that is always politicized. And, there's nothing political about our health. God is not a God of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33 reminds us God is not the author of confusion. God is not the author of confusion, but the author of peace. And where there's confusion, there often is injustice. Where there is confusion, there's often distance. Where there's confusion, there's often silence. Now, I sit at the intersection of a lot of different systems, always have my entire career. Right now, I sit in banking and in the finance world, in the community development world, in the policy world. I've in past years sat in the education world, and today increasingly healthcare. I serve on the community bank advisory board of the Federal Reserve. What a tremendous honor. And I've been invited and have served as a commissioner with the National Academy of Medicine. What a tremendous honor. The goal there is to help shape deeper conversation around healthcare financing, access, and systems change, and people's health. Like, what are we aiming at? But I don't say any of this. I don't bring any of this up to sound impressive. I bring it up, folks, to say I'm a student in this moment. I'm a student in this system. I'm a student of the Spirit, a leader who's also listening, because I want to see the systems we live in actually make sense to the people they're supposed to serve. Proverbs 18:15 says, "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. The ears of the wise seek it out." Folks, we need more wise ears. We need more discerning hearts. We need more leaders who are listening. One thing I've learned from the Federal Reserve: there's power in a clear, simple mission. The Fed's dual mandate is well known. Unless you've been under a rock the last decade, you know it well. Maintain maximum employment and ensure price stability. Now, certainly there is complexity under the hood, But that clarity of purpose, it guides action, it drives focus, and it brings alignment. And it got me to thinking, what would it mean to have that kind of clarity in healthcare? What would it mean to stop drifting and start deciding? What would it mean to stop reacting and start realigning? Ask 10 people what the US healthcare system is supposed to do, and you'll get a bunch of different answers. Save lives, provide access, promote innovation, protect agencies so that people have choice. And that's the problem. None of these are inherently wrong, but that's the problem. If we can't agree on the purpose of the system, we can't agree on the plan. That's simple strategy. If we can't agree on the goal, we'll never agree on the ground rules. Very, very important. And Amos 3:3 puts it plainly. Can two walk together unless they what? Are agreed. We can't walk together in this system until we agree where we're going. So here's what I've been reflecting on over the course of the last year, and you'll hear me talk more about this in upcoming blog topics. But what if we gave healthcare a simple national mandate, a dual mandate, just like the Fed? Here's what I propose. And look, folks, I'm simply proposing for us all to have dialogue. I don't have it all figured out. Remember, I said I'm a student. What does a student do? A student learns. But here's what I propose. Number one, with this dual mandate, optimize population health, promote long-term health, well-being, and health agency for all Americans through prevention, access, and evidence-based care. Number two, to this dual mandate, ensure sustainable cost stewardship. This is so important. Maintain affordability and financial efficiency so we preserve access without bankrupting families, without bankrupting our hospital and healthcare institutions, and without, folks, bankrupting our nation. Simple, focused, powerful, and rooted in Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of you? What does the Lord require of you? What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and walk humbly with who? With your God. Act justly, love mercy, walk humbly. Now that's a mandate, folks. That's a mandate worth following. So why does it matter now? In 2023, healthcare consumed almost 18% of our GDP. Almost 18%. By 2032, folks, it's projected to hit almost 20%. Meanwhile, our economy is projected to grow at about 4.3% a year. Now, even right now, this information might be dated, but you get the point. Meanwhile, if the economy is anticipated to grow at 4.3% and healthcare is anticipated to grow at 5.6%, come on now. You know, I know that's unsustainable. You know, I know that's dangerous. You know, I know that's unacceptable. Imagine Folks, imagine if your personal spending grew faster than your income year after year after year. I'm not talking about one time. I'm saying year after year after year. Eventually, you'd break. You know this. Did you catch that? Eventually, you'd break. And that's exactly what our system is doing. It's breaking down, it's breaking under its own weight, dragging families, dragging our economy, dragging our whole way of life with it. So let me make it real for a moment. Now, all of us have stories. Last year, this is just the most recent. Last year, my son had a medical emergency in Tampa, and someone had slipped something into his drink. So he had a serious reaction. We got him to the ER quickly. We just happened to be in Tampa. Thank God we were there, and thank God he recovered. But then came the ambulance bill. Folks, this was thousands upon thousands to go a few miles. No warning, no breakdown, just a big number. So big that it felt like it had no soul attached to it. Now, I'm an accidental banker. I deal in numbers all day. And even I couldn't make sense of this. I couldn't process it. So I asked if the system confuses folks like me who deal in this kind of stuff all the time, what does it do for everybody else? Proverbs 31:9 challenges us: defend the rights of the poor and needy. But how can we defend people if they don't even understand the battlefield? I hope you caught that. Don't get me wrong, folks, healthcare is complex. There's a lot that goes on there. There's science, there's policy, there's economics, there's human behavior, there's policy and politics and all of that stuff. It's all there. But the more complex the system, the more essential the aim. If we don't define the aim, we can't measure the outcomes. If we don't define the aim, folks, we can't earn people's trust. Folks, if we don't define the aim, we'll keep drifting from the people we are called to serve. So here's the real question. Here's the real question. What are we trying to do with healthcare? And is the system we've accidentally built aligned to deliver that? Let's stop letting politics and profits and all of this stuff dictate the debate. Let's get over that. Let's start letting purpose and people drive the reform. Let's ask the question plainly. Let's answer it with clarity. Let's answer it with humility and a whole lot more focus on outcomes that actually matters. Romans 12:2 calls us to transformation. Be not conformed. Folks, I told you I had to go deep. I had to identify a lot of scripture to help me with this. Romans 12:2 calls us to transformation. Be not conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Maybe it's time we renew how we think about care. If you are a policymaker, if you are a hospital administrator, if you are a doctor, a nurse, a nonprofit leader, a parent, a sibling who has had someone sick, trying to make sense of your statements, your statement, regardless of where it comes from in healthcare, what would it look like for your part of the system to align with a national mandate that actually serves people? It's aimed at people. Because if we aim at nothing, and if we aim accidentally, we'll hit it every time. We'll hit nothing accidentally. And right now, it's time to aim. It's time to aim with purpose. It's time to aim with faith. Folks, we've got an opportunity right now, because when the aim is clear, progress becomes possible. Folks, when the aim is clear, we can become healthier. Thanks for spending time with me today on The Next Move. If this episode resonated with you in any way, if it challenged you, if it encouraged you, if it opened up a new conversation, a new way of thinking, or you just got something on your mind, it's prompting you, share it. Start a dialogue. Talk to someone in your circle about what healthcare is really for, because the only way we build better systems is by starting better conversations. And for people of faith, that conversation starts with compassion. It grows through courage, and it ends in transformation. Until next time, I'm Orvin Kimbrough. Keep taking your next step with purpose. Take it with clarity. Take it with faith. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. I hope today's reflection inspired you to take the next step in your leadership, career, or faith journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement this week. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like more reflections or resources, visit orvinkimbrough.com or theaccidentalbanker.com. Until next time, remember, every step you take brings you closer to thriving. Let's keep moving forward together.